What's going on, guys? So, I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to tell you a little story about being open to new ideas. I'm trying to grow fly bodies, and by grow fly bodies, I mean I want to try to get fly bodies into every school in the area that I currently live in, which is Southern California. And how I do that can vary in a multitude of different ways, but my approach for the past probably 6 months, maybe a year, has been to ask the administrators or the principals or the heads of school to see if they would want to do something like fly bodies for their teachers. And so I was approaching it that way because they are the decision makers at the end of the day. They are going to be the ones that say, yeah, we want to do this for our entire school, and then we're going to pay for it. So I was like, okay, those are the people that I need to approach in order to get fly bodies into schools, right? Well, I heard a podcast, or it was just an interview of the CEO from Coursera about, I want to say like 3 months ago. And 3 months ago, I was listening to a podcast, and the interviewer asked, asked the Coursera CEO, how did you get Coursera into all of these big institutions, like all these universities, um, to get accreditations for certain classes and stuff? And he goes, well, that's an interesting question. He was like, we first targeted, and he said they did it on both ends, but they targeted individual teachers to see if they would sign up and get on the platform to teach classes on Coursera and get paid to do it. And so they targeted individual teachers that would be interested in this. And once they got enough teachers at a certain institution, then they went to the administration and said, hey, we have this amount of teachers at your school that are part of our Coursera community. We'd love to give a deal to the entire university so that all your teachers have access to this. And so that made me think, man, I should be targeting individual teachers to get on the Fly Bodies program, or at least try it out in some form or fashion, so that if we get enough teachers at a certain school that are doing fly bodies, then they could go to their administrators and say, hey, we really love doing this. We should do this as a school. So it was something where I was so focused on just talking to administrators, heads of schools, and principals to convince them to try to get fly bodies instituted at their school. Whereas when I listened to the Coursera thing, I was like, oh my God, that makes sense. Um, Targeting both sides. It's not to say don't talk to administrators, heads of schools, or principals, but if you can do it from the ground up and get teachers wanting to do it and saying this is something we want to bring to our school, then you're coming at it from both angles. So this week's article, small paragraph, is about just being open to new ideas and trying new things, especially when you're a small company like I'm trying to run right now. And who knows what can happen from getting a bunch of teachers on board. So that's all. Just wanted to give you a little bit of just kind of a in the moment story about what has actually happened. And so now I'm targeting individual teachers to try to get them to do workouts, fly bodies workouts over the summer. And I'm starting a new thing called the Fly Fit 30 and getting individual teachers to try that. So dipping their toes in and seeing if they really like it. But I know that was a little longer than it was supposed to be, but I think it's helpful to hear stories about what people are going through. And this is like literally what I'm dealing with, or trying to integrate right now, so that by next year, maybe we have a couple more schools that want to implement fly bodies. So that's it. I hope that was helpful. Be open to new ideas, be willing to try new things, and be willing to try it for a good amount of time. I think like 4 to 6 months is probably a good amount of time before maybe scaling back on it. But if you get momentum doing it, push even harder. But that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed that, and keep doing what you're doing. Keep moving forward. Thanks.